Greetings, my lovelies. Today we're going to go through and uh, look at my notes from the Voodoo Tarot Spirit Box deck. We're going to go through the Major Arcana as part one of our deck study. So, our first card is the Fool, and I like how the cards have the name right here of the regular Rider-Waite-Smith name of the uh, deck card, and then it also has the spirit or Loa on there. So our first card is the Loa Bondai or Bondu, which is the French, meaning good God. And in Voodoo, he is the overseeing God who created everything. And similar to the Christian God, he has way too much to take control of to be dealing with everyone's daily petitions. So all the other Loa are sent as guardian angel type situations to watch over and help guide on a more personal level. Also, the ancestors in Voodoo. So, this card, the Fool, has to do with the start of our journey. And I'm not going to go over everything for each page, but I do have some highlights. Again, Bandai is about original chaos that settles into a rhythm, and he just watches from afar. Okay? His card, the positive aspects are new endeavors, a new journey. It can have to do with madness, impulsivity, pilgrimage, and being a nomad. The negative aspects are, I thought someone was coming out the door. The negative aspects is irrationality, negligence, abandonment, deception, and inconsistency. Next, we have the Magician, which is Simbi. And in this card, you see a moment of victory where free will and choice are reigning supreme. A new beginning fueled by a strong and deliberate creative drive, beautifully personified by Simbi, which, as you can see, he has all his magical implements. You see him as the snake underneath vines. There's also like a crocodile head behind him. And this is a shape-shifting Loa who offers wise counsel in unlocking one's true potential and making well-informed decisions. The positive aspect of this would be uh, free will, choice, healing, persuasion, initiative, skill, creative energy, and the disciple. If it was in the transverse, it would be prejudice, a trickster, indecision, error, fraud, deception, manipulation. So, again, this would be in a positive aspect. You could see it as a disciple or a prophet, and in the negative, it would be more like a cult leader. So a manipulative soul who's trying to use your energy for its best, for its gain instead of your own. Our next card is the High Priestess, which would be Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau is a African American historical figure from New Orleans, and she is widely renowned as a great mambo or high priestess, hence the fact that she's the high priestess card in here. She was skilled in herbal healing and potion crafting and uh, conducted voodoo uh, in secret when it would have been a killable, or I'm trying to use a word that's not the word I'm trying to say. She would have been persecuted for it and hung at that time. So she's a African American uh, esoteric ancestor. Uh, she has her snake on her, which is her serpent companion that was called Zombie. And in the positive or upright position, this card can mean in readings insight, prudence, reflection, knowledge, development, perseverance, inspiration, anything having to do with the subconscious and or divination. If it was in the transverse, it has to do with loneliness, isolation, unpreparedness, hidden dangers, ignorance, and secrets. For our Empress card, we have Mami Wata, wife to Agwe. Okay, so fair warning, there is partial nudity in this deck and or full nudity. So in this card, we have Mami Wata. She is the surge of feminine creativity, intellectual prowess. She is associated with Saint Martha, um, Philomena, and Stella Maris. She is a mermaid, as you can see, and she is a Loa having to do with the ocean, mysticism, success and romance, sexuality, and love. She's often depicted as with a serpent representing divination. Uh, she has a mirror symbolizing the transition from the present to the future, and she serves as a bridge between realms. She, in the positive for this deck, would have to do with expressiveness, one's creativity, the ability to be seductive or seduction, fertility, desire, sexuality, feminine energy, elegance, uh, development, spirituality, beauty, vitality, all of the uh, feminine energies that most would uh, attribute. In the negative, she could be seen as promiscuity, superficiality, flirtatiousness, procrastination, jealousy, and vanity. The Emperor, which is Agwe, which is also Mami Wata's husband, also associated with water, is the he has authority over, like I said, the oceans, also control over the material world. He has strict discipline and decisive action. He has a military spirit, uh, meticulous in his protocols and procedures. Overall, he's going to be your embodiment of rule, strict rule, but also having to do with being able to rule over others in a fair and just way. Okay? So, in his positive aspect, the Emperor or Agwe would be dominion, stability, strength, rationality, achievements, responsibility, leadership, order, a fatherly figure, firmness, practicality, and protection. Again, this is a number 4 card, which 4 cards in numerology and the tarot have to do with stability, and so thus he would be a stable force in your reading. We have Papa Legba as our Hierophant or priest. In this card, he's got his dogs with him, and he represents wisdom, tradition, ideal, guidance, wisdom of the past that is brought into the future. He is a deity of the crossroads, all the liminal spaces, gateways, gateways, uh, communication between realms. So between the realms of the gods and the people and the ancestors and the people, all the spirit realm in general and the people. And in this deck, he is a mediator. He is bringing forth meditation energy, help, discretion, wisdom, mastery, communication, spirituality, diplomacy, and would also represent career peak in the upright. In the upside down configuration, I don't really read upside down cards, but if you do, I wanted to make sure that people knew what the meanings were. This has to do with a fake guru, fan, I can't even say that word. Fanaticism, rigid dogmas, misunderstandings, lack of faith, deception, immortality. No, not immortality. Immorality, hidden enemy, malicious gossip, and intolerance. So just think all of the good things you would think in like a priest, flip that upside down, and that's what you get when Papa Legba comes up upside down. The Lovers card, we have Marasa, which is the twins, and then the third one is the culmination of the twins coming together. So we have the opposites, male and female twins, that bring forth a third being, which could be a culmination of both sexes, or intersexed. These are synchronized with the saints Cosmas and Damien. If you wanted to use the Catholic um, sync images instead of the Marasa. And then they're also linked with Mawu and Lisa, who are represented in this deck as the Moon and the Sun cards also. So, in the positive, the Lovers or Marasa has to do with choice, love, truth, justice, union. And when I say choice, it's the choice to bring two opposites together and work in harmony. Infatuation, relationships, loyalty, dedication, challenge, and doing what one pleases. The negative aspects of this card would be dispute, separation, deception, temptation, unfulfilled desires, sterility, depression, and negative encounters. One thing I like about this card, though, if you look closely, each of the twins, the original twins, have a different eye color, and then the one that comes from them, the intersex child, has one of each of their attributes to show that they are one of part of each of them. Our chariot is Ogun on a hyena with his war weapon, and the chariot embodies the essence of decisive action in the material world, representing concepts of control, victory through willpower, and mastery of one's emotional desires. Ogun is a god of war. He was called upon during times of oppression to bring forth victory and um, uprisings. He is synchronized with Saint James and Archangel Michael. Uh, he's often depicted with a machete, and his positive aspects in this deck are action, control, courage, triumph, charisma, partnership, rapid or repaid efforts, power, self-control, faith in one's abilities, strength, vitality, and warrior spirit. In the negative, he is about obstacles, indecision, professional challenges, recklessness, oppressive control, rebellion, and excessive ambition. Next, we have Arzuli Dantor as Justice. Arzuli is the Dantor is the opposite aspect of Arzuli Freda. She is a protective mother. She is a fighter. She is attributed to being a patron to those who are oppressed, those who have been abused. So she's just a protector overall. She's usually seen with a weapon, and if you look closely, let's see if it shows it. It shows her with a scar showing her fight against the oppressors. Let's see, what else did I... in the positive, she is about judgment of others and making sure that those who have been oppressed and or victimized, that the persons who victimized them are brought to justice. She's about stability, diplomacy, impartiality, causality, motherhood, ruthlessness, and responsibility. In the negative aspect, she would be about disputes, revenge, fraud, legal complications, deception, rigidity, domineering or an overbearing mother figure. She is about dishonesty, divorce, abuse, lack of discipline, and excess. Next, we have our hermit, which is Eazen. Eazen is a Loa associated with healing. She's the guardian of mystical knowledge, embodied the essence of the ancient voodoo priestess, linked to ancestral wisdom and sacred rituals. Eazen oversees spiritual growth and guides initiates through rites like Honosi and Kanzo rituals. I want to make sure everyone knows I am probably pronouncing some of these things wrong. I'm pronouncing it to the best of my ability, uh, with the bit of knowledge of French that I do know as I'm learning French. So if I'm butchering anything, my apologies. It's not done with disrespect. I have all the respect in the world for the Loa and the Voodoo religion and spiritual practices. Uh, in the upright position, this card has to do with wisdom, transformation, challenges, times for silence, mastery of latent uh, abilities against solitude, initiation, spiritual growth, and healing. If it comes up in the opposite or upside down version in a reading, it's about isolation in the negative. It's about sacrifice, stagnation, regression, problems related to old age, absence of a father figure in one's life, abandonment, and rejection. Next, we have Maman Brigitte, who is a Catholic uh, embodiment that has been taken in to voodoo through, you know, colonization and all. Uh, she is usually depicted with red hair, wearing green because she is Irish. Maman Brigitte is the wife of some Baron Samedi, and she is part of the Gede, which is the spirits of the dead that uh, take care of the spirits of the dead. So the Loa that take care of the spirits of the dead. Um, she is she is going to be the Wheel of Fortune in this deck, obviously, and she is about the beginning and or end of cycles, um, luck, fate, um, timelessness, reciprocity, favorable circumstances in the upright position, transactions and positive challenges. In the upside down, she is about stagnation, uh, deterioration, misfortune, circumstances beyond one's control, gambling, friv- being frivolous, instability, decline, delays, obstacles, fleeting advantages, stress, helplessness, and unnecessary risks. Our next one, which is a new Loa to me, um, I studied in my life's journey of spirituality. I have studied about Santeria and voodoo and so on and so forth. And so at points in my journey, I have learned about many Loa, and I know there are so many different Loa and so many different spirits in voodoo and Santeria and so on and so forth. And I love that I am learning more, even though this is not my specific path at this time. I learn it because I do have ancestry in voodoo, and to honor my ancestry, I feel it is needed to learn about all the different paths in my ancestral uh, repertoire, I guess. So I use this deck as a ancestor deck for my ancestors when I'm reading, amongst other decks. So it was really cool to find this one. This is the Strength card. At first, when I looked at it, I would have assumed that it would be a devil card because it's a red dude with horns, but it's Bosu Shade, and he's a bull, a red bull figure with 3 horns, and I thought that was dope. He's also synchronized with Saint Vincent. He's associated with the um, Minotaur, and he's also associated with a Dahomey king, uh, Tegbesu, who reigned from 1740 to 1774. So, really cool information. He has the Strength card is associated with self control, creativity, instinctual behavior, resilience, sexuality, um, courage, heroism, ambition, loyalty, tenacity. In the um, transverse, the card is having to do with oppression, hence the chains. So, like that. Violence, skepticism, arrogance, possessiveness, toxic masculinity, excessive testosterone, betrayal of trust, pride, anger, uh, impotence, and general machismo. Next, we have the Hanged Man. Now, as beautiful as a card as this is, I'm not going to try to butcher that name. But it is the serpent holding the heart. I can't remember what it's called in Catholicism, but this heart with the cross on it. And it's about sacrifice, patience, and letting go. It's about detachment in the positive, prudence, meditation, taking pause, gestation, sacrifice, dedication, new perspectives, rest, depth, faith, discipline, study, and healing. Upside down, it's about immobility, doubts, limitations, indecision, delay, boredom, self pity, self harm, excess, addictions, painful challenges, unachievable projects. All right, so that's part one. Uh, I don't want these videos to be too long, so we will finish the major arcana in the next video. You have a beautiful day, my lovelies. See you soon.